Okay folks, I'm going to try to cover as much as I can on the body and frame of this 106 BN4 1958 Austin Healey. This is a Longbridge Austin Healey, and I'm going to go over the changes I made to the body and the frame and suspension from the original, and try to point out as much as I can about what was done. Since we're in the front here, I guess I'll start with that. So on the sway bar here, this is the heavy-duty sway bar, not the original. This is I believe it's a 5/8 thickness sway bar. It's much heavier duty. And then I also beefed up the sway bar connection here and welded in a heavier duty plate to accept the extra stress that the sway bar would be putting on those front portions of the frame. Those horns are something I had stuck on there. I do have the original horns, the Lucas horns, but these I thought were just kind of cool, and I was going to put this on here because they're old truck horns and they're really loud and sound really cool. So those can be taken off if you want. The disc brakes on this are not original. They are from a later model 3000, and the rotors are new, the spindles, so these splines right in here are all new. These knockoffs are the original ones, and they would have to probably be chromed up a little better. The brake calipers have been rebuilt completely. All the internal parts of the kingpin and everything have been gone through. As you can see, the lines, the hydraulic lines are all brand new. Cooper nickel, I believe is what it's called. The shocks have been redone. If you're wondering what the little wood block is for, that's just to keep the shock in the normal position, and so you don't, this little rubber bumper here doesn't get squashed down. All the bushings for the suspension are all new for the upper and lower wishbones there. What else? Oh, the tie rods are all brand new. So this is all new in here and in here. Of course, here as well. So let's see, what else do we got? We're just going to come around the side here, give you some shots of the floor pans. The floor pans are not original. I've replaced them with a heavier gauge steel because the original ones were pretty much shot. The entire center section of the frame, which is the cross member in the middle, is completely new and of a heavier gauge steel. Going to the back here, original drum brakes, all new components have been put in there. The big difference in the back here is the use of these shocks. These are obviously not the original rear shocks, but the important thing here is that the shocks themselves are bolted up to the original mounts for the rear arm shocks, and the reason I put these in is I wanted to have a little higher performance rear shock, and they're also adjustable. So one of the things on the Healey, as you may know, is it has a droopy back end on occasion, especially if you have any weight in the rear trunk. So I wanted to be able to adjust the height, the ride height in the back. So these shocks are fully adjustable air shocks. All the hydraulic lines, The cable for the emergency brake is new. All the hydraulic lines are new. We had the differential. We pulled the differential apart and went through the entire thing. There was some of the bushings, the bronze bushings in there that needed to be replaced, and so those were replaced. And it was completely dialed in. It should hopefully be a noiseless rear end. Let's see what else. Come around the back here. There is some pitting on the original steel back here, but it's all been cleaned up and it's fairly strong. I didn't see any reason to replace it. And most of the steel work is in pretty good shape. Again, all new spindles here. It's really important to have those new spindles with the splines on there, so you don't have any problems with wheels coming off. Oh, one of the other things I did here that's might be a little different from most of the installations you've seen is one of the common problems on Heelys is called a shuttle shake, which is this whole upper section here has a tendency to vibrate or rattle a little bit because it's all dependent on the strength of this tunnel area. And so what we did is we beefed up the tunnel area per some other things that we'd seen on the web where people had taken angle iron and welded it in. And so in particular you're going to see this area down here. The angle iron is actually welded all the way down into the main frame, and that'll help with that that shuttle shake. And then also there's some gussets at the corners right in there that will hopefully strengthen up that whole shuttle area. You can see that over here as well. That's something that's definitely not original, but we thought it was, or I thought it was important to put that in. And then the other big change, again, nothing on that I'm telling you is permanent, and that's this this new double reservoir brake system. The original Heeley, as you know, had a single reservoir for both the front and rear brakes. Since I like to drive fast, I didn't think that was such a great idea. If you lose at least one front or rear brakes on this one, at least you'll have the front or the rear left to go to. Included is a proportioning valve. Right down in there is a residual pressure valve, and that's really important when you have discs in the front and drum brakes in the rear, to keep them both operating at the same stopping power, so you don't get disproportionate stopping on either the front or the rear. So what else? I guess I'll do some of the underneath here. There's the clutch master there. There's the little four-way valve there with the, I've actually got it taped over, but it's got the little brake stop sensor, and here's all your hydraulics. Gone through the steering gear. Okay, so let's take a look underneath here. Okay. And give you a shot up under here. So up under here, the only thing that's really important to note is that we did replace these outriggers. Here, I believe we did, yeah, we welded some new pieces on these, and then on the main, these main fore and aft stringers for the main frame, we put a reinforcement cap. So this is a U-channel of much heavier duty steel than what was originally used to beef it up because the bottom of that tube had rusted, and so we cut it out and just completely welded a new bottom cap on there. And you probably can see that in spots there, but it's made it a whole lot stronger. And then, like I mentioned, this whole center cross member is completely new, along with its little outriggers there. So let's see. The only other thing we did is just beef it up wherever we thought the frame, you know, was a little thin, and we replaced, you know, a little bit here and there. So I think that's a pretty good shot of the underneath there. And then I go up underneath here. That's the underneath of the rear. And since I'm down here, we'll just get a little bit of the shock area. And there are those aftermarket rear shocks. Little overall shot again here. Show you a little bit under this side. So that's about it. Back up here, and there you go.